Tonight, we're also very lucky to have an outstanding guest speaker here with us tonight. Teresa Sullivan became the University of Virginia's 8th president on August 1st. She came from the University of Michigan, where she had served as the provost and executive vice president for academic affairs since 2006. She was also a professor of sociology in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts. Prior to her work at the University of Michigan, Ms. Sullivan was executive vice chancellor for academic affairs at the University of Texas System, 2002 until 2006. In this role, she was the chief academic officer for 9 academic campuses within the University of Texas System. Her responsibilities included developing tuition-setting procedures, initiating and supporting educational and research collaborations among the various campuses, and developing external collaborations. Ms. Sullivan is an expert on labor force demography with focus on economic marginality and consumer debt. She's the author or co-author of 6 books and more than 50 scholarly articles. Ms. Sullivan has served as the chair of the U.S. Census Advisory Committee. She is the past secretary of the American Sociological Association and a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. It is my honor and privilege to introduce President Teresa Sullivan as our guest speaker.
Thank you, Colin. I'm very grateful that you invited me to be with you this evening. To be here in this room at the very heart of the university in the company of students is a wonderful thing. My husband Doug and I have enjoyed watching the grounds come alive in recent days as thousands of students and their families arrived in Charlottesville. The before and after has been spectacular. I know that many of you have also been here this summer working and planning for the coming year, and I appreciate your dedication. On Saturday, Pat Lampkin and I spent some time greeting first-year students and their families as they moved into their residence halls. On Monday, she and I visited with more students at the Student Activities Fair. Some of you may have seen us arrive in her smart car labeled Wahoo One, which actually is very maneuverable, even when lots of parents are trying to get their SUVs into impossibly tight places to unload. At Michigan, some people called me the provost on the prowl because of my habit of walking all over the campus and showing up everywhere. Pat and I may get some nicknames based on traveling the grounds in her smart car. The beginning of a new academic year is always an exciting time. In some ways, that move-in weekend is the most exciting days of the year until you get all the way to final exercises. But this year, I'm one of those new people, learning the culture and the traditions of the university and finding my way around Charlottesville. I have to say that the Student Activities Fair was particularly memorable for me. I had the opportunity there to meet the students for emergency preparedness. And then to my surprise, I got to use that information yesterday evening. The governor held a reception at the mansion for all the agency heads. The students at my table were amazed to hear that I'm an agency head, but so I am. And also there was the state director of emergency preparedness, and so I told him, we've got some students who are ready. And we had a serious conversation about how, in the event of a Category 3, they would like to do some just-in-time training of students because they know they don't have enough people to staff the shelters. So we may have some jobs for you if that hurricane that's currently out there in the Atlantic decides that it wants to make a swipe at us, but I hope it doesn't. At UVA, I do think that the student experience is its crown jewel. Over and over again, as I've talked to alumni, and believe me, since I was announced as president on January 11th, I have heard from many alumni. I have heard about what a wonderful time they had here and what a magical experience it was to be an undergraduate here on the grounds. So I knew about that even before I was appointed, but it's certainly been confirmed since then. Your work as student leaders means that you play an important role in building a meaningful student experience, not just for yourselves, but also for your classmates and for the classes that come behind you. Student self-governance is a powerful system for student leaders who are involved, and also for the entire student body. Members of our community have a strong understanding of accountability and responsibility. I know that some of you here tonight have been working this summer on the Get Grounded Coalition, and that most of you have already begun the Step It Up training. Your work will create a safer, stronger, and more connected university community through participation and through peer support. By empowering your fellow students with knowledge, resources, and a network of support, you will help change the patterns of bystander behavior. Of course, we are each responsible for our own actions, but as members of this community, we also have responsibilities for one another. We are responsible for being aware, for recognizing threatening situations and behaviors, for reacting appropriately, and for respecting each other. I'm looking forward to the Day of Dialogue on September 24th and to the work of the Get Grounded Coalition in gaining further traction among our students. Thank you for being a part of this important program. Now, I'm told that the Student Council has defined transparency as a theme of your work this year. It's one of my themes, too. One of my priorities this year is to begin to develop an internal budget strategy that will create greater transparency for deans and others charged with planning across the university. I did something similar while I was at the University of Michigan. At Michigan, we involve students, faculty, staff members, and administrators in budget advisory committees, and we had 30 town meetings as part of the process there. There will be opportunities for student input as we work on this further here. As you know, I will also spend time this fall studying Leonard Sandridge's portfolio and then making some decisions about how we will structure the portfolio of his successor. Notice that I said successor and not replacement, because Leonard cannot be replaced. I hope to have the job description for his successor written in the early part of the semester and to launch that search in October. Not long after, we will have a similar process to search for the successor for Tim Garson, our Executive Vice President and Provost, who is leaving us to take a position in Houston. We will have student representation in both searches. Whenever it is feasible, I will involve students in the important work of the university. Students bring different ideas to the table, and their involvement enriches their own experience, opening their eyes to new ways of thinking, and in some cases to new career paths too. Next spring, we are planning a series of events that will include my inauguration as the university's 8th president. These events are scheduled for April 13th, Mr. Jefferson's birthday, through the 17th. The schedule is not final yet, but the installation ceremony will take place on Friday, April 15th. It will be open to the entire community, and I hope you'll plan to attend. That week, we will have an academic conference and a research poster competition, a major community service project, an interfaith service, some social events, and a 5K and 10K walk. Students will be involved throughout the events, some serving on planning committees, some participating in the academic components, and I hope many will be involved in the university-wide Day of Service on Saturday, April 16th. I'm looking forward to these events as a way to celebrate the teaching, research, and service that we do here, and as an opportunity for the entire university community to come together. This community has strong ties among its members, students, faculty, and staff. Together, I hope that we can build on this strong foundation and further enhance life on the grounds. I know classes began today, and I want to wish all of you a very successful semester, and thank you again for everything you do for our community.